Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Three topics for this video. The first one, the Ukrainians keep threatening a terrorist attack in Moscow on Russia's Victory Day. They celebrate on the 9th of May. And this is the second time when an official, a representative of Ukraine, threatens to attack the parade, the Russian parade in the Red Square, where Mr. Xi Jinping will also attend. That's the first topic. The second topic, the Americans, it's ridiculous. The American State Department says that they're not here to mediate the war in Ukraine. It's up to the Ukrainian and the Russians to do that. I have to tell you that this sounds to me like a thief who got the loot and he's running away from the bank and say, guys, everything is yours over there. You are just robbing the bank. Not me. Why? Because US already got the loot, which are the mineral deal. It's unbelievable. You are the root cause through NATO expansion, and now you say, no, it's up to them to figure things out. But on the same time, you impose left and right your terms. It's so childish because it's easy to see, and I think it is ridiculous. It's just a parody. It's not a comedy anymore. It's a parody. It's like, wow. And then, in the same time, the Americans urge the Russians and the Ukrainians to have direct contact. Well, I mean, that's good. But as I said many times before, when you want to have something solved, you go to the decision makers. You don't go to the rank and file who's going to eventually direct you to the decision makers. So here the decision makers are the Russians and the Americans. That's it. The rest are irrelevant. You just have to tweak them a little bit. That's how it is. And the Americans say, no, you got to talk together. Is this for us? Like, the world, the baboons, to just look and say, yes, it's the Ukrainians and the Russians who need to make peace. When actually you are the root cause of everything here. NATO expansion, that's the root cause of what we have over there. They try to wrap it in a very nice, colorful, shiny wrapping that, no, it's something else. No. And then the last topic for this video, it's something that I covered yesterday actually, and I said it many times before. The West doesn't want peace in Ukraine. Not the West, the interests who control the Western countries. They don't want peace in Ukraine because for them war in Ukraine and in the same time peace in the West is profitable. We're going to discuss that because J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States of America, came out and he said, let me just quote it for you. Russia's war against Ukraine not going to end anytime soon. Well, we know that. All these peace talks and you guys need to talk and we got your loot. I mean, your, your wealth, the mineral deal. The mineral deal is just some people, which are the guys in charge of Ukraine right now, sold the Ukrainian nation's territories' wealth to their buddies in the West. The same racket they did in 1990 and 1991 in Soviet Union with the disintegration of Soviet Union. They came in and they took everything, and then Putin in 2006, up to 2006, called them all to the office. Come over here, sit down. How did you make your money? Who gave you the money? Who gave you the loan? Oh, Bank of New York. How in the hell would Bank of New York give to you, little loser in Soviet Union, Russia, with nothing to prove, gave you millions of dollars? Sit here. Oh, because my name is, I don't know, Abramovich and Mr. Bergstein from Bank of New York gave me the money. So you take care of our resources, they gave you the money, they control the resources, and you are the oligarchs, and the Russian people are working, huh? No, it can't be done. And then, tsusht, he just flew to London and others. All right, I'm not talking about Abramovich, Berezovsky and others. Go and check the Russian oligarchs. I made a video about 2 years ago about 40% of the Russian oligarchs were non-Russians, were Steins. Anyway, so let's start with the beginning. And the beginning starts with this. Russia Today, 2nd of May, 2025. Isn't that beautiful? Today, May, Ukrainian MP threatens terror attack on Red Square. After yesterday, actually on the 30th, I made this video. Zelensky-Stein threatens Moscow Victory Day parade with attack. Russian reaction? We're gonna fuck you up. Okay, so this is the video I made 2 days ago when Zelensky threatened the same thing. Well, he didn't say I'm gonna bomb that. Is veiled, but nevertheless not that veiled. So let's see what this baboon has to say. Yuri Pavlenko has suggested targeting Moscow despite Vladimir Putin's proposal of 72-hour ceasefire. And they say, yeah, you don't want us to hit you when you have the parade. That's what it is. Well, whatever it is, you would benefit out of it as well. Kiev could target Moscow's Red Square during next week's Victory Day celebrations. A Ukrainian lawmaker has suggested, despite Russia's offer of a 3-day ceasefire, May 9th marks the 80th anniversary of the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. On Monday, Russian president, said 72-hour ceasefire, humanitarian, direct negotiations, zabarab. However, in an interview with Ukrainian media on Wednesday, Yuri Pavlenko openly suggested that Ukraine could try to derail Victory Day, which is one of the most revered holidays in Russia, as well as many former Soviet republics. And I'm calling this person. I think the time will come when we will strike Red Square. Whether it happens this May 9 or sometime later, that time will come, Pavlenko, end quote, Pavlenko said, claiming that the Russian capital is full of quote-unquote legitimate military targets that have brought much grief to Ukrainian soil. Okay, well, I agree. I agree that many Ukrainians, Russians, and many other nationalities are hurting. But the Ukraine wars, the causes of it, is not residing over there. It's residing far away to the west. So that's one. The next one, you have to understand that the Soviet Union's effort in the Second World War, if it's not the biggest, all right, it's right there. So it was a common effort, collective effort, that's true. But you still can easily, by numbers, verify who had the biggest. But it's true that, you can have an army of baboons around, but if they don't have the know-how or the finance, they're going to stay over there and just count their fingers, not doing anything. So they need financing, they need a land lease and other things. So I understand that kind of effort. Without that one, I don't know if the Russians would have been able to produce what they produced with the Soviet, I say Russians, Soviet people. I can't use the Russians because they were Ukrainians. There were many nationalities, ethnicities over there. The point is this. You're going to hit a celebration of something fantastic, right? The Victory Day, because you want to hurt these guys. So, I don't know, you commit your own little crime with a neighbor, but it's still a crime because it's illegal, and a crime is a crime. So you go commit murder because he slapped you or something, but it's the whole, how do I say it, is the significance of that parade. It doesn't have to do only with the Russian people. And you try to screw it because it's like you support the other side who lost the war. Anyway, so that's this with this. I guarantee you that if that happens, if any drone, regardless who's going to fly that, the Russians, remember Maduro, when the drone appeared in one of his speeches outside, Maduro from Venezuela, if something like this happened in the Red Square, I guarantee you, the Russians will not have patience. I think they will flatten certain things and they will say, this is it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a false flag operation conducted by the Russians to say, see, Zelensky said it, Pavlenko said it, they did it. It's like the Nord Stream 2 pipelines. The Americans said, no, it's not going to happen if you invade, and it happened. You're the prime suspect right there, which I think it's not only the suspect, it's also the perpetrator, it's also but hey, nobody seems to care anymore. Nothing. It's like, where is it? We don't know what happened. We don't know. It's been more than 2 years. And nobody talks about those pipelines. Imagine that would have happened to the United States of America. I think about 7 countries would have been already invaded for Israel. For the pipelines. All right, the same with September 11. They said, we're going to punch someone in the face. Who do we punch? Israel needs you to do this. Oh, okay, all right. But it was no connection. No. No, it was those 19 hijackers that they found the passports. After the planes. Yeah, it was them. It was them. All right, let's go to the next topic here. Next topic is you commit the crime, you run away, and you point out, now you fix it. I'm not involved. You have to fix it. You committed the crime. This is pathetic. A criminal. Ukrainian form. State Department. This is what State Department says. United States will not mediate Ukraine-Russia peace talks. We got our loot. Go. You can burn over there. What do you mean they need to mediate themselves? It's true. They have to. That's the way it would be in the way they portray the war like as being. The Russians invaded unprovoked another country, and that's it. We just went outside and we just helped a little bit with some towels, a little bit of water, took the mouthpiece over. That's what we did. We didn't do anything else. We were not involved. We didn't provoke anybody. It's just between these two. So it's logical, according to the narrative they gave to us, that the guys should make peace. Not that we have everything we want. If we want Zelensky to get the fuck out, he's gonna get the fuck out. But anyway, how we're gonna tell the Brits, and the Brits will have him go, because I think Zelensky is the Brits guy, not the Americans. But hey, he's a Zelensky style, so I think he's anyway. So what's going on over here? We will not, the United States will not act as a mediator. First, that is true. You are not a mediator. You are part of the conflict. You are part of the other side. The Russians are on this side. You are on this side. And that's what you are. You can't be a mediator between whom and whom. These are appearances. These are, as I said, a narrative. It's you, clearly, and these guys, the Russians said it very clearly many times. NATO is the root cause. And you say, what does that have to do with that? Well, imagine that you and I, we don't like one another, and I would like to you, and you would like to me. So let's say we are 10 meters apart, or 10 yards, or 30 feet, however you want to say it, and we're far away. Hey, and that's all we got. All right. And then I'm starting moving towards you, like, hoppa, but it's still, it's 10 meters, it's far away, and I'm starting coming over, and I say, stay there. And you say, well, I'm not going to move towards you 1 inch if you agree this woman to marry me or something. And I say, well, I agree. I'll let you have that, which is the unification of Germany. Okay. And then I will not move 1 inch, you say. And then you move over. You come over, and you come close. Remember, we have fists and we have legs, all right? The length. So you come here and you come very close to me. You come so close to me that and you do like this already, and you're right here. So if you just, from here to here, you can punch so fast that I don't have reaction time to block or to move. So I'm going to get it straight in my melon. And you tell me, no, it's okay, it's not illegal for me to come as close to you. I didn't touch you. Now what? And we don't like one another. And you told me you're not going to come closer. How do you want me to respond? I warn you, don't come closer. You promise no, and you come. I'm okay. You can't stop me. It's not illegal. I'm a free person. I come closer to you, and you come close here. You diminish my reaction time to block or to, move to the side if you punch me. And you're right there, ready, with your military in Ukraine. With your CIA in Ukraine, preparing those guys, training those guys. And tell me, Ukraine can be a NATO country, can be, because we have an open door policy. That means I can be around you wherever I want. But if I do the same thing to you, if I come close to you and get ready, no, like I would come, let's say in Cuba, no, you can't. You can't. So to say that we are not playing the mediator, no, you can't. Now the Russians allow the Americans right now to play the mediator. They call themselves mediators, but actually the Russians are discussing with these guys. Americans, all we want is to have our 4 non-negotiable, the reasons why we entered over there, solved. And these guys are still and they will do it eventually, unless we're going to go to the last topic, which is the war with last a long time. So US demands direct Russia-Ukraine talks. Demands. How can you demand? Well, I tell you how you can demand. When you ascribe yourself a position of a leader, only then you can demand. A parent can demand to the children to go and clean up their rooms. A teacher can demand that you come over here and let's go to see the principal. A principal can demand. A police officer can demand. He's in charge of you. Well, unfortunately, the United States of America, as far as I remember, is not in charge of anybody but supposedly its own country, which I don't think that's even a fact, because I think there are others in charge of, god damn it, in charge of this country. But that's a different story. Not only drink some coffee. So they demand. You can't demand any. That's another problem coming from the Russians. The Russians told the Americans, you have to treat us equal. Or the same. And the Americans says, no, we don't have to, and we will not. But we love freedom, and we like DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. But on the other hand, on external, no, we tell you what to do. We demand. Imagine that Albania will demand, that the United States of America talks with Iran or drops his outrageously idiotic claims and demands on Iran. Albania, what do you think will happen to Albania? It's going to be starving in no time. Why? Sanctions. The government will go, and we're going to put someone beautiful, smiling, and doing whatever we tell them to do. We demand. And let's go to the last topic, coming from Sputnik, and not only, because I like to bring more than that right here. Right, see, I like to come from the Ukrainians and the Russians, the same as here. With this, US demands Russia today, and then departments will not mediate, and then in down here is the same topic, will the demands. I like to alternate it. Ukraine conflict not going to end anytime soon, Vance said, and I agree with that. I made yesterday a video saying these guys want war the day before, and I said it many times before. This is one, and the other one is Ukr War, Russia's war against Ukraine not going to end anytime soon. Okay, why is that? Let's see why they say that. Now, I think the question is to see whether we can find some middle ground here for these guys to bring the conflict to a close. Again, he talks like a parent talking about two children that are at it. This is insulting, let's say, as a Russian. As a Ukrainian, I understand. Why? I mean, for obvious power reasons. Vance said that the war is not going to end anytime soon. He added that it is ultimately up to Kiev and Moscow to decide whether they come to an agreement and stop this brutal conflict. This is like a rapist coming and saying, man, we should stop rapes, man, in the world, man. It's brutal and horrible for the victims, but you are the biggest one. That's how I see it. And you know how you back it up? With historical evidence. I didn't pull that out of my ass and say, because I don't like these guys or those guys. This is the way it is. It's brutal, man. It's brutal. It's the interest. When the interests are not going to make a profit anymore, then the war will end. And these guys, the interests, which are financial interest, the big banking system. Then is the second one, which is the military-industrial complex with their arms manufacturing companies. And the third one are the energy industry. Because how do you build weapons? With money and energy. And baboons like us working for minimum wage. Good job. And we'll keep our mouths shut, wear our masks, get the boosters, and then the keyword is shut the don't rock the boat whatsoever. So yeah, it's brutal. They don't care about that. Remember, if you want, or at least for me, the thing that put the cap on forever regarding criminals is this event. The United States of America imposed economic sanctions on Iraq, Saddam Hussein. Iraq, 20 million, 24, 22 million people at that time. Why? Because Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. First they said he did September 11. Then they said, no, he trained Al-Qaeda. Then they said, no, he's got weapons, chemical weapons. Then they got the weapons of mass destruction. Everything just to clear the road for that shitty thing in the Middle East. You know what I mean? So everything they did to do that. And they imposed sanctions. And it was Madeleine Albright, Zelensky's time, who was the foreign minister like Blinken, and how Mr. Vitkov will be today or tomorrow, Secretary of State of the United States of America. They make our foreign policy, especially in the Middle East. So, what happened? They imposed sanctions. And then in an interview, if you remember, it was Madeleine Albright, and she was over there interviewed, and she was asked the estimates of the sanctions in Iraq was about 500,000 children dead because of our sanctions. Do you think the price is worth or something like this? And she said, yes, the price is worth. So she had no problem. We have to make Saddam Hussein change course. So for her, Saddam Hussein and her thing in the Israel over there was okay for her. 500,000 children of goyim, whatever they were. It was okay with that. 500. Why? We need to get rid of that guy for the other guys over there that I'm part of. So when I heard that, I saw that interview, I was like, any flavor, let's put it this way, of decency, freedom, equality in front of the law, and all these values that United States of America spreads around the world, I was like, no. In order to get a governmental job at that level, you have to have a criminal mind. You have to. You can't, when they're gonna tell you what to do, who's there, they come to tell you what to do, you have to do it, otherwise you quit. But you can't quit because you got a tiger by the balls and by the tail. Because by that time, you already agreed with so many things that these guys probably have on you that you can't turn around. You're caught. You're in there. Do you think that Madeleine Albright, when she said that, it was the first time when she did such a thing or made a decision like that in her career? No, she did. You have to rub shoulders with them for a little bit. Go to their parties and figure out what's going on over there so they can blackmail you later. What are you saying, Emil? Well, we have pictures. We all knew what you did in that room. We knew it. You want everybody else to find out? So you go over there and impose those sanctions, and you need that interview, you promote our garbage. Otherwise, you go behind the bars, baby doll. You don't think it's that way? Go at Bill Clinton's life, and you're going to find out a lot of things like this. When he was the government of the state of Arkansas. Let's start with that one. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. The war will not end soon. Of course, your guys have to make the profits, and they make it in peace and in a war. Why in the peace? They already pointed to a boogeyman, Russia. There's going to be forever. And if Russia tomorrow is kneeled, it's going to be China. And if China is going to be, it's going to be North Korea. And then it's going to be Romania, it's going to be whomever. And then it's going to go with these imbecilic things, war on terror. Tomorrow is going to be war on climate. It's something that it's like Don Quixote kind of idiocracy. We're going to find windmills, and always going to be the wind who's going to spin those wind, and we're going to fight whomever we want. And in the meantime, those guys that make a profit, we work like baboons, and we die, and then we're happy out there and say, yes, we're up here in the... Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.